beneath the glittering crowns, the grand palaces, and the public ceremonies, the British royal family is bound by a secret code, an invisible web of rules, traditions, and restrictions that govern every thought, movement, and choice. From marriage to public speech, from appearances to personal relationships, generations of monarchs and heirs have lived under the weight of these unspoken laws, their lives carefully choreographed to maintain the image, power, and continuity of the crown. Every smile, every word, even the slightest gesture carries meaning, scrutiny, and consequence. Behind the pomp and pageantry lies a world where freedom is a luxury few can claim, and obedience to tradition is survival. From the moment a royal child is born, life is defined by expectation. There are no ordinary birthdays, no private celebrations, and no escape from scrutiny. Every detail, name, appearance, timing is carefully recorded and analyzed. Parents whisper instructions about behavior, posture, and manners almost immediately. A royal infant is not just a child. They are an emblem, a living heir to centuries of tradition, bound by a code that stretches far beyond the cradle. The first lessons are subtle, yet profound. Sit upright, respond to adults politely, eat neatly, and speak only when spoken to. Every action is observed by nannies, governesses, and courtiers, who are themselves guardians of the unseen royal code. Disobedience is noticed instantly, corrected, and remembered. The child grows up understanding that identity is inseparable from duty. The whims of the heart, curiosity, and childish rebellion are all tempered by expectation. Education begins early, not just in literacy and history, but in the nuances of protocol. Young royals memorize lineages, laws, and past monarchs, learning their own place in the grand historical narrative. Every gesture, from bowing to entering a room, is rehearsed. The secret rules dictate not only what must be done, but how it must be done correctly, elegantly, and publicly flawless. In private moments, these lessons are less about punishment and more about shaping perception. A fleeting smile, a tilt of the head, a pause in speech all have weight. The family's legacy depends on consistent performance. Friends, playmates, and tutors are themselves participants in the code, ensuring that the child absorbs discipline, restraint, and awareness. Even the concept of privacy is foreign. Courtiers, advisors, and servants act as the child's shadow. Every whisper, every step, every misstep is recorded, noted, and sometimes reported. These early years instill the understanding that royal life is an endless performance, where actions are measured not by personal desire but by centuries of expectation. Freedom is restricted, not by chains, but by invisible rules that will dictate the child's relationships, choices, and ultimately, destiny. As the young royal grows, the code becomes more complex. Social interactions, ladders, and education are all scrutinized. Allies are chosen carefully, friendships are evaluated, and even casual comments can ripple through the court with lasting consequences. By the age of 10 or 12, the child begins to understand the magnitude of these restrictions. They are part of a living institution where individuality must serve continuity, and personal desire is often sacrificed for legacy. By adolescence, the royal code is ingrained. Decisions about behavior, appearance, and alliances are rarely spontaneous. They are calculated, often with the guidance of mentors who themselves have been shaped by centuries of tradition. At these days, the weight of expectation becomes palpable. Every choice is strategic. Every word carries the potential for praise or scandal. The young royal learns that life is not merely lived, it is performed for history, for subjects, and for the preservation of a crown that represents centuries of continuity. In these early years, the foundations of loyalty, duty, and obedience are cemented. The child begins to internalize the principle that every personal desire must bow to the imperatives of tradition. Freedom is rare, spontaneity even rarer. And yet, within these restrictions, a royal identity is forged, a sense of belonging to something larger than oneself, something that transcends individual happiness. From the cradle to adolescence, the hidden rules of the monarchy guide, shape, and restrict. They are invisible chains, but they are also invisible armor protecting the individual and the institution alike. They teach that power is inseparable from discipline, that legacy requires sacrifice, and that the survival of the crown depends as much on obedience as it does on authority. For the young royal, life has already become a performance, a careful navigation of boundaries, expectations, and secrets, and this is only the beginning. The adolescence of duty, education, court life, and early public appearances by the time a royal reaches adolescence. The invisible chains of the royal code have already become second nature. Every action, from the way they walk to the way they speak, is meticulously observed. Education intensifies, not just in reading, writing, and arithmetic, but in diplomacy, history, languages, and the subtle art of courtly behavior. Tutors are not merely teachers, they are mentors who prepare young royals for a life where every word will be dissected, every gesture interpreted. Court life, with its endless ceremonies, banquets, and audiences, becomes the crucible in which a young royal is tested. They learn to navigate hierarchies of power, to recognize allies and rivals, and to understand the silent rules that govern relationships. Even the smallest misstepper, laugh too loud. A glance to lung can trigger whispers that linger in the marble halls for years. In these formative years, the royal learns that appearances are as crucial as intentions. The public eye must be both managed and respected. Public appearances are lessons in discipline. A child's smile, bow, or curtsy is practiced repeatedly until it appears effortless. They observe older family members, absorbing nuances of tone, gesture, and demeanor. Every royal knows that in public, they are not merely themselves. They are embodiments of history, duty, and authority. The royal code dictates that private feelings must often be concealed, replaced with carefully curated expressions that convey stability, benevolence, or strength. Friendships, too, are shaped by the code. Peers are chosen not only for companionship but for strategic value, political alignment, and reliability. Loyalty is tested constantly. A confidant may become a liability if their actions threaten protocol or reputation. Romance, at this stage, is heavily restricted. Courtships are monitored, sometimes arranged, and always weighed against the broader needs of the dynasty. Every emotional connection must consider consequences, not just for the individual, but for the monarchy as a whole. Family dynamics are equally complex. Siblings are both companions and rivals, each playing a role in succession and the perpetuation of the royal code. Parental authority is reinforced by tradition. Lessons in patience, obedience, and sacrifice are daily, often subtle, sometimes harsh. Discipline is enforced through a mix of expectation, guidance, and the quiet observation that any failure will be remembered. In these corridors, loyalty is tested as much by small actions as by grand gestures. Travel and exposure to different regions of the kingdom become part of the royal education. Visits to provinces, ceremonies, and inspections teach young royals that the crown is not just a symbol, but a responsibility to diverse people and communities. Here, too, the code is evident. A smile must inspire trust, a word must show wisdom, a gesture must signal care. Every action is scrutinized by advisors and chroniclers, ensuring that the royal presence strengthens, rather than diminishes, authority. The royal code also governs personal habits and discipline. Diet, exercise, and comportment are monitored closely. Health is linked to appearance and perceived vigor, both vital to public confidence. Even recreation is structured. Games, hunts, and music lessons are not just pastimes. They are training in patience, strategy, and public perception. Every aspect of life is intertwined with duty, leaving little room for ordinary adolescent rebellion. Despite these restrictions, adolescents learn creativity within the bounds of the code. They develop wit, political intuition, and the ability to navigate complex social networks. They cultivate a persona that balances tradition with personal flair, projecting strength, empathy, and intelligence. This duality obedience, coupled with individuality, is the essence of royal survival. The young royal understands that they must perform constantly, yet subtly, shaping both perception and reality without overtly defying the code. As they near adulthood, the consequences of the royal code become ever more tangible. Choices regarding marriage, alliances, education, and public duties must align with centuries of precedent. The young royal begins to see the broader purpose of these restrictions. They are not mere rules, but tools of stability, continuity, and power. The code ensures that personal ambition does not compromise the monarchy, and that the crown endures beyond individual lifetimes. By the end of adolescence, the royal has internalized the invisible rules of life in the palace. Every gesture, thought, and decision is filtered through centuries of tradition. Freedom is a careful illusion, balanced against the weight of history and the expectations of the nation. Yet within these limits, the young royal is prepared to step into a world where appearance, diplomacy, and subtle influence are as crucial as crowns and scepters. Adulthood will bring greater responsibility, more public scrutiny, and the constant negotiation between personal desire and dynastic duty. But these early years, shaped by education, court life, and careful guidance, forge the resilience, awareness, and strategic mind necessary to navigate the complex, often perilous world of royal life. As young royals enter adulthood, the invisible chains of the royal code tighten further. Education, etiquette, and controlled experiences now translate into active duties, public appearances, charitable engagements, diplomatic meetings, and ceremonial responsibilities. Each day is carefully orchestrated, every move a statement of continuity, authority, and stability. The crown demands visibility, and visibility demands perfection. A misstep, a mispronounced word, a delayed greeting, an unguarded expression can ripple across newspapers, court gossip, and international opinion. Royal life is a constant negotiation between personal desire and institutional obligation. Private moments are rare and highly monitored, whether in palaces, private estates, or foreign lands. Courtiers and advisors maintain a meticulous watch, ensuring that behavior aligns with centuries of tradition. Leisure is planned, friendships are assessed for discretion and reliability, and even meals are served under the weight of observation. The royal code prescribes not only what a royal must do, but also how it must be done. Each ceremonial bow, handshake, and smile carries centuries of meaning. Diplomacy is an art form in itself. Negotiations at banquets, charitable events, or foreign visits are performed with precision, reflecting national interests while maintaining personal dignity. The young royal learns that appearances can shape alliances, resolve tensions, and project authority without a single word of command. Marriage, a central pillar of royal duty, is a domain where the code's power is most evident. Romantic inclinations are often subordinated to dynastic necessity. Royal unions must strengthen the monarchy, cement alliances, and reflect propriety, sometimes at the expense of personal happiness. Prospective partners are scrutinized for lineage, political advantage, temperament, and discretion. Even love is shaped by expectation. Weddings become grand displays of legitimacy, projecting unity and stability to a global audience. Charitable and civic obligations further illustrate the duality of freedom and restriction. Royals may champion causes close to their hearts, yet each engagement is carefully chosen for visibility, impact, and protocol. Personal passions are rarely unmediated. Even hobbies and leisure projects are framed to reinforce the crown's public image. The institution comes first, always. Individual expression must enhance, never diminish, the monarchy's reputation. The public eye amplifies every success and failure. Media scrutiny, court observation, and public commentary mean that even small gestures are interpreted with symbolic weight. A casual remark can ignite controversy. An understated smile can be read as approval or disdain. Royals internalize constant vigilance, understanding that every action contributes to a carefully maintained narrative of stability, dignity, and authority. Internal family dynamics compound the pressure. Siblings, cousins, and extended relatives each play roles within the royal code, creating a hierarchy of influence, expectation, and subtle competition. Loyalty is valued but always tested. Alliances shift, and internal politics often mirror the public scrutiny. A royal must navigate not only the broader political and social landscape, but also the intricate labyrinth of family expectation. The burden of duty also weighs heavily on personal identity. Royals often sacrifice careers, desires, and privacy for the sake of tradition and continuity. They live in the delicate tension between symbolic perfection and genuine humanity. Public performance is constant. Private life is constrained. Yet these limitations forge resilience, strategic acumen, and an acute understanding of interpersonal dynamics, qualities essential for sustaining an institution that must endure across centuries. Travel and diplomacy exemplify the global dimension of royal responsibility. State visits, treaty signings, and cultural exchanges are carefully choreographed to balance ceremonial spectacle with substantive negotiation. A single handshake, a pause during a speech, or the manner in which a gift is accepted can carry diplomatic significance. Every moment is a lesson in decorum, awareness, and the subtle wielding of soft power. Yet behind the polished exterior, the cost of constant vigilance is profound. Mental strain, isolation, and the suppression of personal desires are common. Relationships with friends, partners, and family are filtered through the lens of duty, often leading to distance and misunderstanding. Emotional sacrifices are inevitable, as the individual becomes inseparable from the institution. Still, the royal code teaches that enduring this burden ensures not only the survival of the monarchy but the stability of the nation itself. Adulthood, therefore, is defined by an intricate balance. A life constrained, yet powerful. Personal sacrifice, yet immense influence. Every royal learns that authority is inseparable from obedience. Freedom is intertwined with responsibility, and visibility requires vigilance. The institution survives because its members are trained, disciplined, and constantly reminded that their lives are not solely their own. They are the living embodiment of a legacy stretching back 1,000 years. As the young royal embraces these duties, they begin to understand the true purpose of the royal code: to protect, to preserve, and to guide. The restrictions are not mere rules. They are instruments of continuity, shaping decisions, behavior, and alliances to maintain the monarchy's stability and influence across generations. This duality, power through restriction, is the essence of royal life, and it defines every action for the rest of their existence. Even in the gilded halls of palaces, the royal code does not prevent human flaws, secrets, or scandals. It merely dictates how they are managed. Behind the majestic curtains and ceremonial pomp lies a world where reputation is everything, and every misstep can threaten both personal standing and the stability of the crown. Royals live under relentless scrutiny, their private lives constantly weighed against centuries of expectation. A discreet affair, a misplaced word, or even an emotional lapse can ignite whispers that echo far beyond palace walls. Courtiers, advisors, and confidants become both protectors and enforcers of the code. Secrets are managed with precision, rumors are contained, and public perception is meticulously shaped. Family disputes, rivalries, or disagreements over succession are carefully hidden or reframed to maintain an image of unity and strength. Yet behind this polished surface, tensions simmer. Siblings vie for attention, children for approval, and extended family members for influence. Every interaction is calculated, every alliance is strategic, and every conversation can carry consequences for the monarchy. Marriage, while a central duty, also brings potential peril. Arranged unions intended to consolidate power may clash with personal desires, creating tension and secrecy. Royals may navigate clandestine friendships, covert alliances, or private confidences to reconcile duty with individuality. Emotional restraint is paramount. Every sentiment is filtered, every expression measured. Even love becomes a matter of protocol, subject to approval, timing, and public perception. Financial matters, though largely invisible to the public, are also bound by strict rules. The royal code dictates careful oversight of expenditures, estates, and personal wealth. Mismanagement or extravagance can spark scandal or reduce confidence in the monarchy. As a result, wealth and privilege are always tempered by vigilance, responsibility, and public expectation. Royals are trained to handle both abundance and criticism with discretion, preserving the image of stability even amid internal challenges. Public image is constantly managed. Media scrutiny, while a modern addition, magnifies the ancient pressures of the royal code. Every gesture, smile, or pause is observed, analyzed, and interpreted. Royals are taught to maintain composure regardless of provocation, criticism, or personal frustration. A measured response, whether through public statements, controlled appearances, or private diplomacy, ensures that perception aligns with the continuity and dignity of the crown. Yet the hidden struggles are not solely external. Mental and emotional pressures weigh heavily. Isolation is common. Personal vulnerability is rare. The royal code emphasizes resilience, self-control, and discretion. Emotional expression must be calibrated, carefully timed, and strategically employed. Coping mechanisms are often private. Close advisors, diaries, or clandestine confidants provide relief in a world where open expression is fraught with consequence. The burden of secrets extends to health and personal well-being. Illness, injury, or personal crises must often be concealed or framed positively. Royals are expected to appear composed, energetic, and unwavering even when facing private hardship. The invisible rules of the court demand a performance of strength, continuity, and authority, reinforcing the idea that the institution supersedes the individual. Political intrigue also shapes the landscape of hidden struggles. Royals are constantly navigating alliances, rivalries, and shifting power dynamics within the family, the court, and the broader political sphere. Every decision, whether regarding appointments, favors, or public statements, is influenced by centuries of precedent and strategic calculation. Miscalculation can result in scandal, diminished influence, or public distrust. Despite the pressures, the code also offers protection. By structuring behavior, decision-making, and public persona, it allows members of the royal family to survive scrutiny, crises, and conflict. The hidden rules are a blueprint for survival, teaching adaptability, patience, and calculated discretion. They preserve not only the crown, but the individuals within it, providing a framework for navigating challenges both visible and concealed. In essence, Part 4 reveals the dual nature of royal life, privilege and power, tempered by secrecy, restraint, and relentless duty. Scandals may emerge, emotions may burn privately, and struggles may weigh heavily, but the royal code ensures that the monarchy endures. Survival depends on mastering the delicate balance between public expectation and private reality, between human desire and dynastic obligation. As this hidden world unfolds, the royal learns to navigate a lifetime where every secret, struggle, and scandal is both a challenge and a test of crucible shaping resilience, discretion, and the enduring stability of the crown. By adulthood, a royal's life expands far beyond palace walls. Every action, word, and alliance carries not only domestic significance, but also international weight. The royal code shapes not only how the monarchy behaves internally, but also how it interacts with other nations, navigates diplomacy, and exerts soft power. Royals become living symbols of the state, tasked with representing centuries of tradition, projecting authority, and fostering relationships that protect and enhance the nation's global position. Diplomacy is a continuous performance. State visits, ceremonial events, and high-level negotiations are opportunities to wield influence subtly yet decisively. Every gesture, a bow, a handshake, a pause can,
Caution.
Royals learn to read nuance and respond with precision, understanding that perception often outweighs explicit action in shaping political outcomes. Their presence alone can stabilize negotiations, convey unity, or reinforce the prestige of the crown. Empire adds another layer of complexity. From colonial territories to international trade networks, royals act as both figureheads and intermediaries, maintaining loyalty through ceremonial leadership while delegating administrative control to governors, advisors, and diplomats. Ceremonial visits to colonies, speeches to local leaders, and patronage of infrastructure and cultural projects are carefully choreographed to demonstrate the crown's enduring presence, even across vast distances. Every action reinforces the narrative of legitimacy, authority, and benevolence, sustaining the monarchy's influence far beyond the home islands. Conflict is inevitable. Diplomatic missteps or perceived slights can escalate into crises, requiring the royal to act with both tact and decisiveness. Royals rely heavily on advisors, leveraging historical precedent, political acumen, and strategic foresight to navigate sensitive situations. The royal code demands discretion. Mistakes must be corrected quietly, criticism managed delicately, and failures contained before they damage reputation. Public perception must remain impeccable, even in the face of private uncertainty or political tension. Marriage and family alliances also extend the monarchy's influence abroad. Marriages are carefully arranged to strengthen political bonds, secure loyalty, or facilitate strategic collaboration. The royal code ensures that personal relationships serve national interest, often resulting in unions that merge dynasties, stabilize regions, or cement treaties. The personal and political are inseparable. Every romantic or familial decision carries potential consequences for global diplomacy. Cultural diplomacy further reinforces influence. Royals champion arts, sciences, education, and humanitarian causes, projecting an image of enlightened leadership and global responsibility. Patronage of institutions, visits to universities or hospitals, and support for international charities create networks of goodwill and reinforce the monarchy's role as both symbolic and practical leader. These endeavors, though ceremonial on the surface, cultivate relationships that underpin the crown's enduring soft power. The royal code ensures continuity amid change. Wars, revolutions, and political upheavals test the monarchy's adaptability. Yet the careful observance of protocol, tradition, and discretion allows royals to maintain legitimacy. They learn to project authority while navigating social, political, and technological transformations, sustaining influence even as the world evolves. In essence, the monarchy becomes a stabilizing force, embodying continuity across centuries of change. Media scrutiny adds a modern dimension. Public perception is influenced not only by appearances in person, but also by coverage in print, broadcast, and digital media. Every speech, photograph, or public gesture is analyzed for political, cultural, and symbolic significance. Royals must balance transparency with discretion, openness with control, ensuring that their image consistently reinforces the monarchy's authority. Despite the grandeur and influence, global responsibilities carry immense personal cost. Travel is relentless, privacy is limited, and public duty often supersedes personal preference. Royals are perpetually on display, tasked with sustaining national pride, diplomatic stability, and the monarchy's international reputation. The weight of centuries of history amplifies every decision, requiring resilience, judgment, and unwavering adherence to protocol. Ultimately, Part 5 demonstrates that the royal code is not merely domestic, it governs global action. Diplomacy, empire, and influence are all channels through which the monarchy exerts soft and symbolic power. Royals are trained to navigate this world with precision, balancing personal limitations against public expectation, private sacrifice against national interest, and immediate outcomes against centuries of historical precedent. Their ability to manage perception, cultivate alliances, and project authority ensures that the monarchy remains not only a domestic institution but a global symbol of continuity, stability, and influence. Every royal understands that their life is only one chapter in a story that stretches across centuries. The royal code dictates not only how a ruler behaves during their reign, but also how the next generation is prepared to inherit the crown. Every decision, action, and relationship must account for continuity, ensuring that the institution survives beyond the lifespan of any individual. Heirs are educated in statecraft, diplomacy, military strategy, and public relations, while also learning the nuances of tradition, ceremonial expectation, and the unspoken rules of court etiquette. Their upbringing is designed to instill confidence, resilience, and a sense of duty that transcends personal desire. Failure to uphold these principles can jeopardize the stability of the realm, making education both a privilege and an obligation. Family dynamics are central to the management of succession. Inheritance is not merely a transfer of titles or lands. It is the passage of authority, legitimacy, and the weight of expectation. Each royal must understand that their life is intertwined with the crown's enduring narrative. Every choice is a lesson in foresight, strategy, and measured conduct. The pressure of succession often intersects with personal ambition. Royals must navigate their own desires for influence or recognition while maintaining the appearance of humility and selflessness. The royal code ensures that ambition is channeled towards service, loyalty, and the preservation of the institution, rather than personal gain. This constant negotiation between self and duty shapes not only character, but also the effectiveness of governance. Unexpected crises test the resilience of succession planning. Wars, revolutions, illnesses, or political upheavals can place heirs in positions of unexpected responsibility, demanding swift adaptation and courage. Leaders are trained to act decisively, yet strategically, maintaining continuity even amid chaos. Legacy is inseparable from succession. Each ruler's achievements, reforms, and failures are measured not only by their immediate impact, but also by their contribution to the monarchy's enduring authority. Construction of monuments, patronage of the arts, codification of laws, and diplomatic successes become instruments through which the crown's permanence is reinforced. Public perception plays a critical role. The legitimacy of succession is constantly reinforced through ceremony, media, and tradition. Coronations, oaths, and public appearances affirm continuity, demonstrating that the monarchy remains stable, capable, and deeply rooted in history. These rituals, while symbolic, have profound psychological and political power, reassuring citizens and allies that the crown's authority is legitimate and enduring. The weight of continuity is both privilege and burden. Royals inherit immense power, but also inherit centuries of expectation, responsibility, and scrutiny. Every act, from personal behavior to public policy, is viewed through the lens of history and legacy. Mistakes are magnified. Successes are magnified further. The pressure to perform flawlessly is relentless, and the personal sacrifices required are immense. Yet this weight also fosters resilience. The royal code teaches patience, foresight, and the strategic use of influence. It transforms personal ambition into service, personal desire into institutional strength, and individual action into historical consequence. By instilling these principles in heirs and reigning monarchs alike, the monarchy ensures that each generation contributes to a continuous, stable, and enduring institution. Part 6 demonstrates that succession is far more than a ceremonial formality. It is the lifeblood of the monarchy. It preserves tradition, ensures stability, and safeguards the crown for future generations. The British monarchy's journey spans more than 1,000 years, marked by triumphs, crises, wars, and transformations. Its endurance rests not solely on the charisma or power of any single ruler, but on the careful preservation of tradition, adaptability, and the strategic use of influence. The royal code, evolving over centuries, ensures that each generation upholds the principles that allow the monarchy to survive the pressures of time, politics, and public scrutiny. Every monarch contributes to a larger narrative, reinforcing continuity while responding to contemporary challenges. From coronation ceremonies to international diplomacy, from managing family dynamics to leading public opinion during crises, the monarchy operates within a delicate balance. Authority is expressed through symbolism as much as through action. Every public appearance, ceremonial gesture, and charitable endeavor strengthens the institution's legitimacy and visibility. Succession remains central to stability. Heirs are trained meticulously in statecraft, public engagement, and diplomacy, ensuring that they can navigate complex political and cultural landscapes. This preparation reinforces the crown's continuity, bridging past and future, honoring history while adapting to evolving societal norms. The lessons of prior monarchic successes, mistakes, and crises guide the decisions of today's rulers, demonstrating the importance of both foresight and prudence. The monarchy's influence extends globally. Historically, empire expanded its reach through conquest and colonization. In the modern era, influence is maintained through diplomacy, culture, and soft power. Royal engagement in international relations, charitable initiatives, and cultural promotion sustains global respect and fosters relationships that advance national interests. Every diplomatic visit, speech, or symbolic act contributes to a network of influence that transcends borders, reinforcing Britain's prestige and the monarchy's role as a stabilizing force. Public perception remains crucial. The monarchy's survival depends on its ability to maintain respect and admiration among citizens. Media, social expectations, and cultural shifts require constant attention. The institution balances visibility with discretion, demonstrating accountability, empathy, and relevance. Royals must embody the values and aspirations of their people while retaining the mystique and dignity that define the crown. Every action is measured, every statement considered, and every appearance orchestrated to preserve authority and public trust. The monarchy's adaptability is equally vital. Across centuries, it has weathered wars, revolutions, constitutional changes, and social upheavals. Its ability to absorb crises, learn from failures, and evolve without losing legitimacy ensures endurance. Flexibility within tradition allows the monarchy to remain a symbol of continuity even as society transforms, bridging the past with the present and projecting stability into the future. Family dynamics, personal sacrifice, and public duty intertwine to shape the monarchy. Personal choices, marriage, education, public service carry political and cultural significance. Royals act as stewards of history, guardians of national identity, and exemplars of service, often placing duty above personal desire. Their sacrifices reinforce the crown's legitimacy, reminding citizens that the monarchy is both a human institution and a symbol of enduring authority. The enduring legacy of the British monarchy lies in its capacity to balance history with modernity, authority with adaptability, and symbolism with practicality. It survives because it continuously reinvents itself while honoring tradition, navigates crises with prudence, and projects authority with subtlety. It demonstrates that power is not only exercised through legislation or force, but through culture, diplomacy, and the careful management of perception. As the monarchy approaches the future, its influence remains profound. It embodies national identity, historical continuity, and international prestige. Its lessons of resilience, strategy, and adaptation offer a blueprint for survival in an ever-changing world. The Crown's story is not merely one of rulers and reigns. It is the story of an institution that has mastered the delicate art of enduring through time, securing relevance, and shaping both the nation and the world. The British monarchy's story is one of resilience, adaptation, and strategic foresight. From fragile beginnings to a globally recognized institution, the Crown has endured wars, political upheavals, social change, and intense public scrutiny. Its survival is rooted in a careful balance of tradition and innovation, personal sacrifice in public service, authority, and diplomacy. Through centuries, the monarchy has preserved continuity, trained heirs to uphold the royal code, and maintained influence both at home and abroad. It has navigated crises with prudence, guided by lessons from the past, and adapted to the demands of each new era. From medieval kings to modern sovereigns, the institution exemplifies the interplay of power, legacy, and duty. Ultimately, the British monarchy endures because it embodies more than mere governance. It represents history, culture, and identity. Its survival demonstrates that true power lies not only in conquest or legislation, but in the ability to inspire, unify, and adapt. The Crown continues to shape Britain and the world, a living testament to a 1,000-year journey of ambition, sacrifice, and enduring legacy. The British monarchy's journey spans more than 1,000 years, marked by triumphs, crises, wars, and transformations. Succession remains central to stability. Heirs are trained meticulously in statecraft, public engagement, and diplomacy, ensuring that they can navigate complex political and cultural landscapes. And colonization. In the modern era, influence is maintained through diplomacy, culture, and soft power. Every diplomatic visit, speech, or symbolic act contributes to a network of influence that transcends borders, reinforcing Britain's prestige and the monarchy's role as a stabilizing force. Public perception remains crucial. The monarchy's survival depends on its ability to maintain respect and admiration among citizens. Royals must embody the values and aspirations of their people while retaining the mystique and dignity that define the crown. The monarchy's adaptability is equally vital. Across centuries, it has weathered wars, revolutions, constitutional changes, and social upheavals. Its ability to absorb crises, learn from failures, and evolve without losing legitimacy ensures endurance. Flexibility within tradition allows the monarchy to remain a symbol of continuity even as society transforms, bridging the past with the present and projecting stability into the future. Family dynamics, personal sacrifice, and public duty intertwined to shape the monarchy. Royals act as stewards of history, guardians of national identity, and exemplars of service, often placing duty above personal desire. Their sacrifices reinforce the crown's legitimacy, reminding citizens that the monarchy is both a human institution and a symbol of enduring authority. It survives because it continuously reinvents itself while honoring tradition, navigates crises with prudence, and projects authority with subtlety. It demonstrates that power is not only exercised through legislation or force, but through culture, diplomacy, and the careful management of perception. As the monarchy approaches the future, its influence remains profound. It embodies national identity, historical continuity, and international prestige. Its lessons of resilience, strategy, and adaptation offer a blueprint for survival in an ever-changing world. The crown's story is not merely one of rulers and reigns. It is the story of an institution that has mastered the delicate art of enduring through time, securing relevance, and shaping both the nation and the world.